It's over. Our heroes have lost. Night Terrors is an event where the villain Insomnia is hunting through the dreams of heroes and villains looking for the Nightmare Stone, and he has found it. He has woken up all of the heroes and brought their nightmares into reality. The only hero who might be able to save the day now is Deadman. But can he? This is Comicstorian. We bring audio dramas of your favorite comic books so that you know what to add to your collection when you visit your local comic book shop. And today's episode is brought to you by Comicstorian on Spotify. Check out our full stories on your favorite podcast app. Now, let's get into the finale of Night Terrors, Night's End. And if you want to watch all of it, click the link to the playlist down below. The heroes have lost. Insomnia's nightmare creatures have begun to spread across the world, and people are finally waking up. But now they're being attacked by nightmare monsters and nightmare versions of their heroes. Insomnia stands triumphant in the front of the Hall of Justice, holding the Nightmare Stone aloft, gloating to Boston Brand and Sandman. With the Nightmare Stone, I can make the whole world understand. They will see what the so-called heroes have done to me, and they will fear them. And it's all thanks to you. Insomnia laughs as he turns to Deadman, promising to give him the reward for bringing him the Nightmare Stone. No, we didn't have a deal. Boston gasps as black tendrils lift him into the air, carrying him inside of the Hall of Justice. Insomnia laughing and promising that he will give Boston his dreams. The world begins to swirl, and a Deadman family appears before him. Your very own dead family. Insomnia cries, and the wife and children rush up to hug their father. The world swirls around them, and then they're standing in a cozy house. Take this gift, my friend. This will all be over soon, Insomnia whispers, but a voice calls out to him. Damn right it is, Batman growls as the awakened heroes enter the Hall of Justice. Your night of terror is due for a rude awakening. Batman hisses as the heroes rush forward. But then they are met by the swirling black tendrils of the nightmare world and the creatures that Insomnia is now able to call forth. Why do this? Why create these nightmares? Superman demands as he sends a blast of heat vision into the nightmare creatures. Insomnia laughs. I didn't make them. They were born inside of people's minds. I only opened up the door for them. He says, looking around the Hall of Justice, pointing out that it is strange that the so-called heroes would need a place to store trophies. What kind of heroes need trophies? I wonder what happens when your victories turn on you, he questions, and the Nightmare Stone begins to glow, and the relics from the Justice League's past begin to come to life, attacking them alongside the creatures from the Nightmare Realm. As the heroes continue to fight, Sandman turns to the body of Boston Brand, shouting for his new friend. Deadman! Can you hear me? Wake up! He bellows, and inside of the dreams, Deadman is sitting with his family, but he hears the calls of his friends remembering the truth. Deadman, can you hear me? Wake up! Sandman bellows, and inside of his dreams, Deadman is sitting with his family, but he hears the calls of his friends and remembers the truth. None of this is right. This is not what I wanted. Boston stands up, forcing his way out of the dream and back into the waking world. You gave me what you wanted, and I'm not gonna live in some dream while my friends are out here hurting. Deadman snaps as he lunges at Insomnia in the real world, but Insomnia reaches out, grabbing Deadman by the head. Let's finally have a look at what your nightmares are about, he growls, and Deadman begins to scream as they both look at his nightmares. He sees himself alone, without a crowd to watch him. Deadman lashes out, punching Insomnia across the face, knocking the villain away. And while Deadman continues to fight against Insomnia, the rest of the heroes continue to battle the nightmare creatures. We need to get back to where this all started. The nightmare construct of John Dee's body, Batman shouts, and Superman nods, sending another blast of heat vision out. I'll clear a path, he shouts as the heroes rush out of the room, only Zatanna and Cliff staying behind, holding off the sleepless nights. Nearby, Deadman and Insomnia are pushing away from each other. Nothing is gonna bring back your family, Insomnia. This doesn't honor them. Let's stop this together, Deadman says, and Insomnia nods, admitting that the hero is right. But I've won. I wanted the entire world to know the truth, to know the monsters that the Justice League is. I win! Insomnia says as he reaches out, ripping Deadman in half, and he begins to float up into the air. I know how to honor my family. I will punish the heroes! He bellows, and meanwhile, our heroes have found the body of Dr. Destiny. Batman reaches out, opening up the box that contains the Dreamstone. He was drawn here because of this. The Dreamstone gave him his powers. It might be able to counteract the Nightmare Stone, Batman says, and Sandman nods, stepping forward, picking up the stone. I've always felt a connection to it. He whispers, the power of the Dreamstone beginning to swirl around him. But Insomnia has arrived. He uses the power of the Nightmare Stone to begin transforming our heroes into their nightmare versions. You think you can handle the Dreamstone's powers, Dodds? You're nothing but some weak zombie. Old! You're out of your league. Insomnia laughs, but Sandman raises the stone and his pistol, telling Insomnia that the Nightmare Stone should never have been brought into the real world. Bring it, zombie! I'll kill you just like I killed Deadman! Insomnia shouts, but a voice laughs behind him. Ha! You really fell for that? Faking death was my whole act. Deadman shouts as he flips into the room, grabbing a hold of Insomnia, and he begins to rip the Nightmare Stone away from him. The powers of the Dream and Nightmare Stone beginning to mix together, drawing both Deadman and Insomnia into the white light, into the afterlife. Boston! You don't gotta do this! The Dreamstone can save you! Sandman shouts, but Deadman smiles back at him. This is what I wanted. I wanted to be the star again. I'm tired of being just a watcher. I want to see what's on the other side. Don't you hear it? They're cheering for me, Dodds. Boston says as he disappears. Insomnia opens up his eyes in the swirling darkness, and he finds himself in his old apartment. His family cheers at his arrival, and they rush forward to hug him. I've missed you all so much, he says with tears in his eyes. But when he opens him, his children are his nightmares. We missed you too, they growl before setting upon him, beginning to bite into his flesh. He screams in pain as flames envelop him. Back in the waking world, the battle has ended, and the world is safe once again. But Batman knows there is one thing that the heroes have left to do. They return Wesley Dodds to his grave, and as he crawls inside, he looks back at the generation of heroes that he preceded. Thank you all for one last adventure, but Dian is waiting for me, he says before laying down. Zatanna holds up the Dreamstone and says her backwards magic, restoring Wesley to his eternal rest once more. As they turn to leave the graveyard, Batman suddenly stumbles, collapsing to the ground, and Damian rushes to his father's side, shouting for help. It isn't long before Batman is in the Hall of Justice being monitored. Mr. Terrific explains that while Batman fought in the Nightmare Realm, Boston Brand possessed his body and pushed it way beyond the breaking point. I have no idea when he'll wake up, but I believe that he will eventually. Mr. Terrific tells Superman and Wonder Woman, probably more rested than he's ever been. Wonder Woman jokes. Diana and Clark then walk through the empty Hall of Justice, knowing that the people no longer trust them, that Insomnia's goals were met. The people have begun to fear the heroes that have sworn to protect them, to keep them safe. They don't know if they can trust the Justice League. Clark explains that he's going back to Supercorp to see what's going on with Lex and that whole situation, while Diana explains that there's a current situation over in DC. An anti-Amazonian front seems to be forming, and she needs to go figure out what that is. Our heroes didn't win this battle, and it's proven by a little girl in a house in Metropolis. She's pulling down the drawings that she made of her favorite heroes. They scare her now. Meanwhile, in a secret lair, Amanda Waller begins to speak to the members of a secret organization. She tells them that Insomnia's attack has actually aided their plans in turning the public against the heroes. She turns as one of the soldiers brings her the spoils of war. We found the Helmet of Hate on Lazarus Island, and Bright managed to steal the Nightmare Stone during the chaos. She says offering these weapons to someone in the shadows, someone whose name must remain secret from the world. The magical items fly across the room, empowering the shadowy figure. And what do you call yourself? Waller asks. Powerful magic lighting the room, revealing our new threat. Dr. Hate, he growls. Waller smiles, nodding. Phase 2 begins. The Justice League is now feared by the world, which means our next target is the Titans. And that concludes the Night's End event. And trust me, I actually really loved this event. I love that it was a backdoor Deadman story. I love that our main heroes still got to be a part of the whole adventure, and it all got to be a lot of fun. The whole thing was just I just really liked it, and I want to know your opinions on it. Now, this isn't the end of the DC events. We're going back to the dawn of DC, which means we're going back to Superman dealing with Lex. Wonder Woman is going to be starting up a brand new, amazing book that I've had the privilege of reading early by Tom King. It's going to be following what's going on with Wonder Woman. And Batman is moving into an event in the Bat family known as Batman versus Catwoman. Catwoman has come back to Gotham, and she's going to be basically trying to fix it because she feels that Batman has ruined it. So the next DC event we're going to be covering right here at Comicstorian is going to be the Batman vs. Catwoman event, while we're also still covering other things going on in the world of DC. Now that Night Terrors is calming down, you're going to be getting back to Superman. We're going to be following the new Wonder Woman storyline. We're going to be covering more Titans. We're getting back to normal DC again. So I hope you're excited about that. But it's also time for us to cover a big event happening over in Marvel, because while Ultimate Invasion is still happening, we're also going to start covering the Fall of X, which has been incredible, and I'm super excited about what's happening to the X-Men. Basically, what I'm saying is there's a lot coming here at Comicstorian, and if you want to be a part of the community, check us out over at Discord, go check us out at Spotify, check out the Comicstorian Full Story channel, or just like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and you can get early access by joining our YouTube memberships. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time right here.